What's happening, guys? I'm sorry that intro was a little bit too enthusiastic. I just wanted to be like one of those other storytime YouTubers, what with the eccentricity and everything. But I'll try to tone it down for the rest of the video if that makes everybody else feel a little bit more comfortable. So I think that we can all kind of collectively agree that 2020 just hasn't been our year. Uh, we've had an entire continent catch fire, World War III, almost, pandemic, then the murder hornets, during the pandemic, then the murder hornets went away, but we still have the pandemic. And now our cities are on fire, and everybody's just kind of, everybody just mostly just thinks, let's just stay inside for the, we should just really skip this episode. I don't like this episode. The director is shit. Whoever wrote this is a motherfucker, and I'd rather just watch the next episode. This entire 2020 has been just season 8 of Game of Thrones. Just fuck this season. But you also have other things that have come about from this, like an explosion in people watching Netflix. There's just so many references to Netflix online now. Like everybody's talking about it. The big thing was when the lockdown first started, Tiger King was real popular. And Tiger King, if you don't know, is it's basically just an allegory for the current two-party political system, where you don't really know who to root for because they're all just the worst people on Earth, and you hate them all if you have half a brain. I want to talk about GOOP Labs. It is a new show on net. Well, it's been around for a little bit, and if you have no idea what Goop is, just a brief overview. They take bullshit and they sell it to you for far too much. I know you were expecting a little bit more explanation, but there's really not much more to give. So to describe Goop Labs with Gwyneth Paltrow, it's basically a showcase of holistic bullshit. And it's promoted by people with enough time and money to waste, to not feel like a complete horse's ass for spending a small fortune, to have a dude in mom jeans and a turtleneck give them a psychic orgasm in front of all their friends. It's where bad ideas are not debated. They're not even questioned. It's just Pepper Potts and her cohort of anti-vax soccer moms that just find new ways to blow stacks of cash on things that even Joel Osteen would say, that one's not scientifically sound. So definitely going to skip over the first 2 episodes. I did watch them, but I'm not going to describe them. 2 guys, Penguin Zero and JonTron on YouTube, already covered those. And if you think that I'm going to outshine those guys, then I got some meditating anal beads that I want to sell you. They had one episode where they're doing, they're talking a lot about vaginas. I'm also going to skip that one because I watched through it and it was cringy as all fuck. Not gonna lie, I was cringing the entire time. But when I look down to the core of it, it's more of something about women's body issues with self-image, and these were licensed sex therapists that they were talking to, so I can't really goad them too much. I understand that is an actual issue that women go through, so I really don't want to rail on that too much. But I will say that there were parts that were just hilarious. There's one part where it's just, they're just clipping in and out of it. It's just the woman sitting there, spread leg, mirror in front. You have the old Betsy. Betsy is her name. And she's the old woman sex therapist. Looks like a bouncy little woman. Just like positioning the light ever so perfectly on the vagina. And she just says, you got some nice labias, kid. I saw that and I almost died laughing. Hilarious. The episode that I do want to talk about, though, is episode 6, the final episode of this bullshit series. Hopefully that doesn't get another season. And it has to do with the world of psychics and mediums. Now, for those of you who don't know, I think that all psychics and mediums are scam artists. I think that there are a bunch of charlatans, hacks, and parlor tricksters that get paid to prey on people's insecurities and take their closure away. Nickelback has more respect for me than any psychic or medium, and that should tell you all that you need to know about my feelings on psychics and mediums. So, when such a reputable company as Goop decides to take a 30-minute dive into the world of clairvoyance, well, I put my glasses down and I readied my sphincter for the onslaught of pseudoscience that I was soon to behold, keeping my eyes open and my nipples peeled for anything that might resemble fact, but was given the most vapid class in what working in the homeopathic corporation run by a hollow shell of a once beloved actress really looks like. So the episode starts with what I've already said I've hated the most, and that is these clowns take away closure and open up scars from the past. So this large medium lady is sitting across from probably an intern at Goop who just got the job at the company, making herself the personification of the short stick. And medium lady is spouting random nonsense while doing her best impression of the Minority Report. If you don't know what I mean, she has it set up so it's like, well, this is the mother's side of the family and this is the father's side of the family. So as she's guessing things, she's kind of like, well, I'm seeing twins. I'm seeing twins. I'm seeing she's just going back and forth and like mixing it up. She's just doing this. All I'm thinking is Tom Cruise Minority Report. All right, we got this person that's about to put it in that butthole, you know? So after a bunch of this bullshit, the large medium lady goes on to say, I'm picking up an E and L, like an L sound. Turns out the younger lady's mother's name was Lori, and she proceeds. The medium proceeds to say she wants to hug you. She's proud of you and she loves you, which are some of the most hollow things you can say about someone who's not there to refute anything that you're saying about them. You know, what's her dead mother gonna do? Come back from the grave and go, that's not at all what I said. That's not true. What I did say though was that the label is sticking up back on the collar of your shirt, and also that fart that you thought that you snuck out, no one noticed, everyone noticed. And this isn't to knock anyone that's lost a loved one. You know, personally, you know, I like to think that my grandparents and my all my past pets, they're all waiting for me for when it's my time. You know, I like to think that my grandparents are looking over me, and I like to make them proud. But why am I going to pay someone to tell me that though? You know, I know my grandpa loved me. I don't need you to tell me that he loved me. Fuck you. There's also another part where they call out their own credibility. And this is the part that kind of angered me in this episode and with this whole fucking thing. Is that Gwyneth Paltrow is talking to them and reminds them that this isn't a regulated thing. Like, how do you separate the hacks from the legitimate psychics? Like there's such a fucking thing. But that's a good point. None of this is regulated. So why the fuck are we listening to these people on this show? Why are we listening to these psychics? They're a bunch of scam. There's, you know, with doctors in medicine, you have degrees, you have doctorates. These people have fuck all. You are just going off of their word that they're better than the fucking homeless guy on the street that can spit in your hand and use a needle and tell you that you're going to die in 7 days. There's no separation. It's literally an industry made up of who can lie the best. And I think it's disgusting. I mean, you got these guys selling out theaters anywhere from your local Kroger's to Las Vegas, and no one sees a problem with it. I mean, magicians do the same thing, but at least with them, we all know that it's an illusion. They don't try to pass it off as, no, this is all real. They at least admit that, yeah, this is all an illusion, but you're paying to get tricked, okay? But you're also getting paid to get tricked by these people, but the difference is that these people try to pass themselves off as if what they're doing is fucking real. And it's not. It's all just a trick. And I hate that idea so much. So like with every episode, um I think Gwyneth Paltrow just goes into the Goop Labs and just goes, you, and we'll throw in one dude. And they just ship him off to some fucking retreat. But this one's a psychic retreat. You know, I bet you they probably feel like they got gypped out of it because a bunch of their colleagues got to go to Jamaica and trip off of shrooms in the first episode, and now these guys are going off and getting all expenses paid trips so that they can sit around in a circle, say and try to read some minds that they know that they're not going to actually do. Now, one thing that you'll notice is that everybody just has a positive experience, which leads me to believe that this is even more bullshit. And every episode has it. You're doing the stupidest shit, but for some reason it's always positive. And that makes absolutely no fucking sense to me. You know, if you guys don't know what psychic beaming is, if you're a simpleton like me and don't understand what beaming is, let me explain it to you. It's where one person sits in the center of a circle, or stands rather, and everybody else just stands around them and thinks really happy thoughts and blasts their positive energy at them in what can be described as their best impression of the Kamehameha wave. And at the end, you know, large medium lady's like, so, how do you feel? And they're just sitting there like, oh, I felt supported and I feel reborn again. Like, come on, make it fucking believable. Like just one bad experience. Like, just imagine, like, how was your experience during your psychic energy orgasm therapy? Well, not gonna lie, I was anxious the entire time and I shit myself a little. But I will say that there is one bright spot in this episode, and that is this one woman. Her name is Anna, and she's the food editor at whatever the fuck that means at this company. And whenever they're doing an activity, she's obviously the skeptic. And fucking finally, there have been no skeptics throughout any of these episodes except for this one. Everybody's usually just 100% on board. This is like the first one where she's like, I don't know, I just don't think this shit works. And God bless her. You know, a breath of fresh air. Like when they were doing an activity to guess some aspects of a partner's dead family member's life, all the answers were like, they were a caring person, or if this person didn't lose their virginity, you wouldn't be alive right now. You know, generic bullshit like that. And, you know, shit that 9 times out of 10 is going to be accurate. Ooh, that virgin one would be really weird if it was like an uncle. But then you have Anna. And Anna is just being honest. And she just didn't know what to say. Like, they like to wear purple, and they liked chicken. Which, honestly, you know what? She was going all in on it, so I admire her creativity. She was wrong, but at least she was original. She gets points for originality, and that cannot be underplayed on a vapid fucking show like this. But what happens next just blows my mind. Large medium lady is sitting there, and Anna's like, is it possible that I just don't have psychic abilities? Anna, you are correct. None of us do. But large medium lady it just sits there and goes, well, we're all born with a psychic connection. But as we grow older, we deny it. And we lose our psychic abilities. Shit you not, that's what she says. And it was at that point that I realized we have an ability that we lose when we get older and more cynical. This is the plot of fucking Baby Geniuses. Okay, but we're getting to the last scene. And this part excites me because this whole thing almost just fucking fails. It almost just falls apart on a dear sweet old Pepper Potts. I will say, they brought in a last minute W for Goop, but it almost falls apart. So, of course, this all begins with Gwyneth Paltrow, the golem that's always sitting next to her and agreeing with her, and the 2 psychic hacks. across from them, and they're sitting around. It's like, so we did a psychic reading on Anna, and Gwyneth and the Goblin Lady are sitting there like, oh, she's a skeptic. I bet she was hard to read. And they all just sit there and agree with each other because that's all they do. They just sit there and agree with one another. Always. It's really fucking annoying. But then they go to the reading. And this is where the magic happens because it almost all gets torn asunder. I was just hoping that it was just gonna fall apart. Like it was going in that direction, and I just wanted that to be the last scene that I was left with from all of this, was just everything just being proven wrong. Unfortunately, it didn't play out that way, but let me describe you the scene. So Anna's sitting there with large medium lady, and large medium lady's going into her, you know, fucking thing, her Minority Report, but she's just pulling up a bunch of nonsense. And it's like, okay, I'm seeing twins. Did we have twins on your mother's side of the family? And of course, Anna's just in there like, no twins. She didn't, they weren't twins. She had a sister. They weren't twins. Okay, but were there twins on that side of the family? It's like, not my mother. It's like, okay, usually when I pull it from this side, it's from the mother's side of the family. So we're just gonna take that. We're gonna put it away, and I'll ask the other side about that later. This just keeps rolling, and it's like, I see a donkey. Is there a funny story to have to do with a donkey? Maybe having to do with Mexico? And of course, as soon as I start hearing that, I'm thinking like, oh my God, please let that be true. Just let it be a donkey show. There's like, well, one time my dad did come back and tell me a weird story about a donkey show in Tijuana that I saw, but that didn't happen. But you know, this whole time Anna's just like, no. Like, she just seems like absolutely confused. Same with me, but I'm laughing. She's not laughing. And you think that it's all over. This whole thing's debunked. But then you hear in the background, hey, medium lady, I think you're reading Lindsay. Camera's panned. There's a lady behind the camera. Some blonde woman is just bawling. She's like, you're describing me. I shit you not. They were getting nowhere with Anna. And so they just had to pull one out of their ass. And holy shit, like she starts going like, my mother was one of a pair of twins, and my father died recently, and he went to Mexico, and he always told us funny story about a donkey. We never get any explanation about that. I still like to hold on to the fact that it was probably a donkey show. They probably told inappropriately at Thanksgiving, but all I can imagine is that one of the producers was just back there and just watching this all just fall to absolute shit, and just went up to this one woman and said like, you want a moment to shine? You're gonna have to take the fall on this one. Just say that she's talking about you. I swear to God, I won't send you on the next retreat. Trust me, it's gonna be some weird shit. You don't want to go on this one. It's like, oh shit. You're talking about me. God. Beautiful ending though. Oh, I will say that. I will give that. God, way to pull it out of your ass. Well, that's about all I got for you guys. I just really wanted to give my thoughts on this one episode because it was infuriating and hilarious at the same time. And do I recommend that you watch this show? No. But do I think that it may be worth a couple laughs? No. But did I learn something? No, I learned nothing. Now, this being done, I still have other things that I would like to rant about. Maybe they'll get spicier, maybe they'll get more lighthearted, I don't know. I won't find out until I actually just sort of sit there and really think on it and think whether I wanna be mean or I wanna be nice. So, that being said, this video's done, and you know, check out for other ones. I'm fun with this, feeling loose. All right, see you guys.